Hey guys, welcome back to my Sims 4 lore save, and this game is looking so much better in 60 frames per second ultra graphics on my brand new gaming PC. It finally arrived, and while I've been waiting for it, I have been working very hard on this save while I was waiting. Willow Creek's already done, you guys know that, but Oasis Springs is now done. I'm actually going to go that was my boyfriend sneezing. I'm just going to go through all the worlds and show you what I've done, because there are certain things I want to show you, like this, but also specific sims I've made and stuff. I just want you guys to see how this save is coming along, because it's almost done. It's almost done. First off, I want to show you off this little spa I made. It's called Sand Spring Spa. I had something like this originally, but it was very brick and square, and the roofs were all slanted, and it had like a massive Zen garden in the middle, but everything was it was like a really weird square shape, and it was kind of an odd one, so I just deleted it and figured I'd try and make a nice brand new one, which I made while watching Parks and Rec. I binged that entire season. I'm now on Brooklyn Nine-Nine because the new season's coming to Netflix in March, so get ready for that. This is the Sand Spring Spa. I wanted to initially use the platforms for here. This music is very loud, I've noticed. I'm going to just turn it down. Ah, that's why. My master volume was still like 50%. There we go. There we go. That's nice and lower now. Also, my game is very bright. Might also just be my my new 24-inch monitor. But I wanted to use platforms initially, but it didn't work with pools. Platforms and pools don't mix for some reason, so you can't do that. But I've got like a nice big pool area. Again, I'm putting vending machines everywhere in this save, because if I can, I will. I've got a unisex shower and bathroom is here. People can shower. They can, you know, get ready to go into the pool and stuff. You've got a little waiting area and reception. A bar, quite a cute little bar. And upstairs we've got, these are actually they all came with the spa day pack. I figured I'd try and utilize some of these room builds. So you've got, like, little yoga room, the chair massage room, the actual massage table room, more vending machines, and 4 saunas, plus a little outdoor bit for meditation. Thought this was actually quite nice. This is also just a prime location for the spa, I've noticed. And I've done some really interesting characters as well. I was kind of losing a bit of momentum in the end because I was working with so many, but I'll show you what I've done in terms of some of the townies in Oasis Springs. So Don lives by himself. Don lives by himself now. I don't think I changed his traits. I changed him up because I want him to look kind of more like Sims 2. Don. But he lives next door now to the Calientes. And he's actually got a high relationship with Nina. But he's got like a little bit of romance with Dina as well. And Dina, Nina, and Katrina, don't know why they all rhyme, all live here. They've all had some quite interesting makeovers. I've made it so Dina and Nina kind of look like their Sims 2 counterparts. But Nina is basically, she is in love with Don. She absolutely adores him and thinks they're meant to be. Dina's got a crush on him. She's had a date with him. And instead of Don being like Katrina's boy toy, as the original thing was, she is just like more looking out for her 2 girls. And basically, she doesn't think Don deserves either of them. She's like, you girls can do better than Don Lothario next door. I've got 2 roomies here. They have a bit of a love story going on. Because, which one's Brandon again? Brandon is this guy. He's in love with his new roommate, Seth. Seth kind of likes Brandon, but they kind of have there's like a kind of will they won't they sort of thing that neither of them want to talk about their feelings kind of thing, so it's very kind of sitcom-y sort of feelings. I got this little family over here, the Holmberg family, military officer, vice president, Owen, he's a bit of a loafer. Kind of doesn't have a job. He's actually got the Star Wars aspiration, because he's kind of, you know, got his head in the clouds kind of thing, and more in a case he's got his head literally in Batu kind of thing. And then his little sister is basically like, I'm gonna be valedictorian of my class. Actually managed to connect the Zest family and the Landgrabs. So Johnny Zest over here, he is now actually Malcolm's brother and Joffrey and Nancy's son. So I've added him back in, but they don't have a good relationship with him because he's been disowned. Use my Sand Spring Park. Oh man, I just realized these guys have the same name. That's fine. And over here we've got Piper. She's kind of like a little green fiend. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's a little green fiend, but most people think she's kind of lazy and unmotivated. She is, I think I put her in the political career. There we got this guy, Devon. Jasmine. There's a lot of single townies I put in this game. And we have the Broke family. I think I showed you guys what they look like before, but they live here. In here. Roomies have been remade over and actually deleted 2 of them. Because I kept Jay and Zoe. I figured these 2 are like really cool. And I've added in a new girl named Nora, who's a stylist influencer. And so these guys are going to have sitcom-style shenanigans. Then we have the Milo family. These guys are inspired by WandaVision, especially because her name is Wanda. And his name is Paul, after Vision's actor Paul Bettany. So these guys are a couple aliens. They've moved into Oasis Springs, into Parch Prospect. They're not very outgoing, but maybe they'll break out of their shells. They are aliens after all, living in disguise. Have the Fiera family living across from them. With Shivani, a little outgoing guy. Got Lucas, who's sort of career-orientated. Priya, who's a gardener. And then they have their daughter, Jessica. She is trans. She started her transition. Damn it, game. You need to give me pronouns for this game. I need pronouns and cast. It's going to make things so much easier. Then you've got the Kellogg family. They have an interesting sort of little dynamic. Greg is now a criminal. He's a criminal. Clementine's a nurse. And then they've got their kid, Colin, who sort of had to join the scouts because if he comes home, no one's there because his dad's working, his mom's also working. So it's a bit of an odd dynamic in this family going on. And then we have Victoria, who is starting a life of financial independence. But she's also non-committal. So if she finds a cute girlfriend, is she going to stay committed to her? That's the big question. I also put down my outdoor theatre, which is now a bar. Got my nightclub, my radio station. El Saborico, my Spanish-themed restaurant. And my Heron Springs gym. You know, I've made all these. There's a lot of stuff I have made. New Crest is not finished. As you can see, there's still 6 lots to go. These are EA-based ones. I made a little retail place, but I've added down a pool I've made. The art center, which is technically a tattoo studio in my head. The bowling alley cafe, named after me. 8-Bit Pride, which is a bar. It's kind of like my 8-Bit bowling. It's basically another version of my bowling alley. It's also, there's 2 bowling alleys on this street. And I made an ice rink, which is also just a cafe. So New Crest is not done. It's going to be majorly community lots. I don't want to put people down in here. I just feel like this would be a much better world if it was a community-based one. Magnolia Promenade. I barely touched this place. All I did was add a cafe. Windenburg. I've not added in any new townies. I've only edited the townies in this world. Because this is the part where I started to run out of steam. The big worlds were just going to be like, this is way too much work and I don't have enough time. I did put a lot of effort into the Villarreals. I gave Jacques like a proper makeover. Hugo as well. Luna, she's looking really cool now. Give me some Lana Del Rey vibes. And Max, as he's looking a bit cool. And I gave them Mayor Whiskers. Mayor Whiskers lives in the house. Also, it's the Villarreal mansion I'm using. I basically took the one from my Empire series and just placed it down because it had some really good... I'd redesigned it anyway. All it did was it removed all the CC and replaced it, so I just had to sort of redecorate it a bit. But it's fine. It's fine. It wasn't that much different. The Ericksons have had a makeover. The Bros have had a makeover. They're looking very different. Now, Sergio and Joaquin. Sergio no longer hates children. He's now just jealous because I don't like the hates children trait. It's kind of mean. These guys were fine. A lot of these I just changed in that I made over the hot and cold weather outfits. Candy and Yuki have had a bit of a makeover though. I kind of like what I've done with them. They both have pastel sort of hair vibes. Kind of love it. And I've added the Hobgoblin, where the rattlesnake or whatever this place used to be called. I did that Alex Moya NPC that was just randomly in the households stuff. Had these guys get a bit of a makeover as well. Sam Mashuno, again, I did not do very much Here, I think literally I just made over people's hot and cold weather outfits because most of them were fine, really. A lot of them were just fine to work with. I think I might have edited Raj's face, though. And I do need to kind of work a bit on San Myshuno. There's still stuff I want to do to this place. I need to change the Stargazer Lounge because it's terrible when you think about it. Plus, I do want to put down my 8-bit bar bowling alley. Maybe change that to Spices Alley. It's a bit of a generic lot, but it has like a lot of stuff in it. And yeah, I didn't do too much. This place, there's so many. This game is looking so much clearer now. Forgotten Holly, guys, no. The Vitor siblings, the mage and her charge. Did I show you the mage? I think I did. Beatrix and her charge, Raiden, that she's looking after. Plus Liam, my investigator, Spectre family, Vlad getting his makeover. Did not do much in Brindleton Bay either. I think the most I did was I edited, where is she, Evie? I just like changed her up a little bit because she's adorable. And yeah, I didn't do too much changing around here. This was a part where I was getting to where it was just getting a very there was so many worlds to do, and the bigger ones are the bigger challenge, really. The smaller ones are easy to work with because you can kind of stick to a theme. The bigger ones, there was like 20 to 30 lots I was working with. Party boys. They are 3 dudes, all living together in a house, hoping to become big stars. They all have their names begin with a C. Cassius, Chad, and Carlton. Next door, then we have the Fame Seekers. We have trans woman Chloe. She has basically finished her transition. Almost. I think there's like one more bit of surgery she technically needs to get in the game. And then her best friend Josie. And they want to be big stars. Josie wants to become a social media star, and Chloe wants to be a starlet. Get her own little tile for Starlight Boulevard. Use my Boulevard blend, my Ward Park. I made a restaurant a while back, and I was actually really pleased with kind of how it looked because it's kind of seafood themed, or it's kind of sea themed. I initially wanted, this is when I was bitching about how Del Sol Valley is kind of terrible. Like, you see how it looks, right? I wanted to make a boardwalk. I wanted to make a really old boardwalk, but it sort of didn't pan out. But I kept the look of it. And here's how the sea treasure looks like. I went with a lot of blue themes for it because it's kind of, it used to be a seafood restaurant, now it's an experimental food restaurant. But I loved how it looked. So I was like, you know what? I'm keeping this place and I'm putting it down. The black and gold served me well, but I kind of want to see how the sea treasure fares. And also the fact that goddamn the restaurants just are terrible in this game. Gave Judith Ward a bit of a makeover as well. Changed her hair up. And I've actually made her, and I think she was always an adult as well. And Bailey Moons have had a bit of a makeover. Well, mostly Thorn has. His face needed some work. Orange was fine. Octavia was also kind of fine. I just changed her hair to that really cool one from the Paranormal Pack. And I added a Hollywood starlet by the name of Janessa, who I gave her the... what on earth did I do here? I had a bit of a grammatical hiccup. So Janessa Wesley has it all. Money, fame, a big house in the hills. There's no space there. God damn it. In the hills of Del Sol. Mentor to Judith Ward. When she was starting out her career, the one thing Janessa never had was a family. She wanted to remain child-free, but she never found the one. Now in her twilight years, Janessa feels that there's still plenty of time. She's kind of her story is sort of, she focused so much on her career. She wanted to be an amazing actress, and she was. She is basically like an Oscar winner, like multiple Oscar winner actress kind of vibes. I gave her, because she's a global superstar. I even made sure to give her the trait that allows her to, basically just took her through the Fame Seeker, cheated her through the Fame Seeker aspiration to give her the trait that makes it so her fame doesn't deteriorate. But she was very ambitious, but she never had a chance to fall in love. And she's kind of going to have that elder romance vibe. Strangeville. I had so much fun with this. One, the Sigworth family have had quite the makeover. Dylan is now a scientist. I put him in the science career. Jess is still military. Christy's looking pretty cool. Used my Strangeville library I made and my Silver Simoleon Saloon. I'm actually going to show you guys that one. I've used it. I made it before. Or rather, I had this sort of basic one on my PC and I've just sort of just updated it. Just to add a little more activities to it because there needs to be like, I feel like sometimes the bars are just so bare bones. Because a lot of the good stuff you can put in a bar came with stuff like Discover University or Get Together, these two things for example. But you can, oh, and the football tables. You've got football, ping pong, darts, you've got a big old video game arcade thing. Plus you've got Sabak. It's the equivalent of poker in my game because we don't have poker tables. I wish poker tables were a thing though, although I feel like you wouldn't be able to get away with it because technically it's gambling. Felix Roman, he was from my Strangeville series, so he's kind of like an Easter egg. The first time I got Strangeville, I made this guy. He looked very different. I've actually given him quite the extreme makeover, but he looks really cool now. And he's actually meant to be friends with Liam from Forgotten Hollow. They're meant to be friends. Bella Goth, as we all know, I gave her one hell of a makeover because now she's in Strangeville with amnesia. I made an alien boy named Ryder. He's kind of a romantic boy and he's wearing that outfit from Final Fantasy. That came with the game, that's in the game, so you know it's fine. That's just down here in Strangeville Plaza. Up here is where it gets interesting. So, Roswell family, I used my Strangeville redo build I did. And gave Meredith and Ted the makeover. And Ted's now also quite high in the political career. Because if he's meant to be the mayor, then he needs to have a political career role. Eclectic Hearts, I changed them up. Not very much though. Alice and Mark were actually quite fine. I just gave Leslie the hair from the knitting pack. My Dutton family farm. And I put the Smith family in here. These guys were made by Maxis devs. They came with their own story. It was so cool. And over here, the Beaker family that were made. And I actually gave them a little bit of a Cinderella story because these guys, Circe and Loki, in the original Sims 2, had adopted Nervous, who is the son of Olive Spectre. And I've made it so that Nervous is Olive's son. I made sure to make that connection. But apparently in The Sims 3, and I never played The Sims 3, so this was news to me, they had two kids. Circe and Loki made some clones named Ceres and Atom. So I've added them in, I've kept them in, and basically given them a story that because Loki and Circe work very hard in their science stuff, or science and medical stuff, that Nervous is kind of confined to the house like Cinderella, and he's not allowed to like leave, essentially because all the experiments the Beakers do, because the kids are doing their own thing, doing scouts and stuff, and Nervous is basically like looking for his Prince Charming kind of thing, or perhaps a fairy godmother like his mother Olive. So I kind of put a Cinderella story in here, you know. I thought it'd be kind of interesting, especially because I made over Nervous and he looks like super adorable now, and also the island living mohawk just looked way better on him. So he's got a little bit of like a sort of Cinderella story here, so I quite like that. And then we got the Curious Brothers, which I put in Grandma Loretta's house, which I made. I was so pleased with that house. It was, do you know what, I'm going to show you this. Because it was originally made in the Strangeville Plaza house in where Bella Goth lives, I had a bit of a problem because I had to try and turn the building around. Because of this particular lot, it faces forwards and it's not sideways. So I had to essentially try and like rotate this house, but then I had to rotate all the foliage as well and stuff. But I didn't want to move the barn, so the barn stays where it is. But this all basically stayed the same. I didn't want to change too much because it looks pretty good. I put a lot of effort into this house. I'm super proud of it. It's a good house. Just turning it around was a bit of a nightmare to do. But super chuffed. I love the Strangerville, what I've done with Strangerville. I worked really hard on this and I love how it's turned out. It just looks really cool. Sulani also has some Easter egg references. We have over here the Beach Bros. So we have Learty from my Island Living series, because I kind of had to put him in here. Like, he is one of my favorite Sims ever that I've made. And he lives with Makoa, because Makoa is now divorced from Liliana. They had a quite rough divorce, because in my mind, because like Makoa and Liliana are like right at the beginning of the young adult life with a toddler, I made it so that they had Nani really young, and like maybe there was like maybe neither of them really wanted to get married, and this was kind of like an unfortunate like sort of situation they kind of got pushed into. But now they're going through a divorce a few years later, and Makoa's been kicked out the house, but Learty's like, dude, you can live with me in my house. We'll be cool. We can go to college like we always planned. Because they're both in the conservation career currently. But I kind of figured that I wanted these guys to be best bros living together. And then over here, I've got my girl Sapphire from my Island Living series. Figured it'd be kind of cool. She loves to travel the world, and now she's kind of stuck in Sulani after a storm. Ohanalahi Beach, my renovation I did. I kept the bar the same, as well as these houses. I did sort of give Leah a makeover. She looks really cool now. And these guys didn't actually give them much of a makeover. Over here we have Captain Thomas Stern. A pirate captain has just landed on the beach. Figured it worked for him there. Mana, an EA made sim, lives up here next to the volcano. And over here I put Paca down because I love Paca. They are like one of the cutest like townies that the devs put in the game. So I gave them like a complete makeover and put them in my surfer shack from my Tiny Teen Runaway. Though without all the CC, so there wasn't much to change for it, thankfully. So they live here now. And I didn't do much changing over here. Over here, though, I put Nilani. And I'm going to show you what this place looks like now. Because I had to change this over because this place was sad. This was a sad build. Incredibly sad. Oh, I mean, look at this. Like, this is just like the stuff I've done to it now, but it's a singular room. I made sure to put the Murphy bed. Someone had to get the Murphy bed. But it's kind of just, it's just a big room. It's just kind of, it's not the best build really, but I made it to fit Nilani. You know, nice kitchen, little living area, candle making and archaeology. A computer at least, plus the bathroom. You know, standard stuff. Made sure she got that. The Nagata family did not have to change much to them. Because all I did, I think, was change Layla. Oleana didn't have much to change with. She was fine. Neither didn't need to do much for Tane either. And these guys are now, I made them elders. Because it just made more sense to me that they would be Sulani ambassadors. I figured it made more sense for them to be elders. The town elders, I guess you could say. Glimmerbrook, I wanted to show you guys this, but I did not. But I did a lot of work on this place. I completely made over Elixir and Brews. I mean, the architecture is the same. One thing I wanted to do was if I didn't have to change the architecture, then I wouldn't. Some places, like, I just completely, like, renovated over, like, look at this place now. I mean, it's very red. The carpet is very red, but it's kind of got a bit of a more rustic aesthetic to it. Now, especially because I love these stained glass windows. So this kind of worked very well in my favor. It was a fine design as well. I think I was doing watching Gravity Falls. Yes, also binge watched Gravity Falls. That took me like 2 days to get through. I've got Wendy Pines. Because I was watching Gravity Falls at the time I was doing Glimmerbrook. Wendy Pines is a reference to the Pine family and the character Wendy. She is an unflirty, proper, outgoing-y potions lady. She wants to open a potion shop and create a garden. So she's doing that. And then over here in a lodge I made, we have Emrys, Maxis EA Maxis Match Emrys. I even gave him a cat named Brinkley, a little tuxedo. And I'd given him the story to kind of allude to him falling in love with Morgan. Like, this is the classic Realm of Magic love story. I wanted this to be included. You know, something has called Emrys Sharp to Glimmerbrook, but he's unsure what. But something in his heart is telling him to come to this quiet wooded village. Is it love, knowledge, or something powerful? It's something, and I'm going to also show you the sages in a bit as well. Amicable acolytes, I changed up Tomax quite a bit, gave him some new hair. The mostly was the cast, like, hair and stuff I changed. Grace also now has a cute little waves. And the Charm family, okay, I'm going to show you these guys in cast because I did such a good job with them. I did such a good job with these guys. You will love them. So, I didn't change much with Minerva, but I gave her the hair from Paranormal. I kind of like what I've done with that. I kept the voice. The voice was fine. Because she gives me, like, you know, she is sort of, you know, powerful spellcaster vibes, but, you know, she's living comfortably now. I gave Gemma had to have quite the extreme makeover. She's meant to be a teenager. She looks a lot, like, teenage, more like now. But I did have a bit of trouble with her because of her initial appearance, but she looks so much better now. And Daryl, he was fun to do. He's looking so much more different now. I mean, I completely changed up the nose. I used this one, which has the which makes it look a bit more prominent. But he's turned up pretty well. Kept all the traits and stuff. They seem to be fine. But now he looks like Jim from The Office to me. It's kind of a thing. But I was very pleased with how these guys turned out. So now you know. Now you know. Now I'm going to show you the sages. They'll be in... World. Yes, so... Okay, so big thing is Elphaba is not Elphaba anymore. She is Elphaba Throp. Because she is now Elphaba from Wicked. I completely made her like the character in Wicked. Because if you're going to reference Elphaba from The Wizard of Oz and Wicked, I feel like you need to do it right. So I just made her Elphaba Throp. Like, I just did like a very little changes to her appearance, like cast-wise, in like terms of facial features. Like I brought in the cheeks, just sort of made everything a little bit smoothed out and stuff. But she looks so much cooler now. You know, the green skin, like it's Wicked. It's Wicked. I need to see Wicked. I never have. Simeon had a bit of a... Didn't really do much with him. He's still pretty cool, though. Morgan doesn't look very different, but the outfits I had to change up. And I'll show you what I've done with Morgan's outfits. Also, with my new PC, he looks way more defined, I guess. I guess because of the... might be my new monitor. Also, because I had to reinstall the entire game. Now everything is like got all these little stars next to it now because it's like, hey, have you just bought The Sims for the first time? No, because I made a formal outfit, the boots, because I kept the feminine preference thing. So I was like, you know what, let's keep it this time and see what we can generate. And we've got this nice little formal ensemble. Workout. Nightwear. Nightwear's not too bad. It's just a big old shirt. This one, yeah, that one stayed the same. I just changed up the boots and stuff. This, I gave him a little bikini top because why not? I think it works. For hot weather, I use this from Paranormal. I absolutely love it, and Morgan rocks it really well. So, you know, had to keep that. And cold weather stayed the same. So, some changes, not a lot, but I'm very pleased with the fact that this is an incredible outfit on Morgan, so had to keep it. Had to keep it. Very pleased with how Morgan turned out. So Glimmerbrook's looking great. Some of these worlds are looking great. And now Brightchester. Okay, so making university students is incredibly complicated because you kind of have to put them on an empty lot, enroll them, and then send them to the dorms. So I figured I'd just leave those empty. I gave best friends not a big makeover. I think it was mostly just some of their other outfits. I added in, okay, so I've added in 2 best bros here, Brendan and Glenn. They are rivals at schools. They're best friends, but they go to different unis because Glenn goes to Brightchester and Brendan goes to Foxbury. Because Brendan's doing villainy and Glenn is doing something at Brightchester. I've forgotten what. But their story is basically they're best friends and now they are rivals at their how did I spell university wrong? Now they're rivals. They go to different schools. They go into different schools for different respective distinguished degrees. So the question is their friendship gonna last? And that's the question. Cameron's had not much of a change, but he's doing all right. He's doing right. I made over Larry's Lagoon to make sure it had some decent things to it. The Elderberries didn't have to change much for them. The Callaways are a new family I've made. You have Michael and Ezra. This is single father pushing a lot of expectations onto his son. And Ezra's starting to rebel kind of thing. I'll show you how the lagoon looked. Because it was mostly just adding in a bunch of the technical knowledge activity stuff. Because in my theory is if you're going to have like a commons like this for people to study, then I feel like you need to add in a lot more ways for people to study. Like you've got this for people who need to get their logic up. You've got anyone if they're doing maybe the archaeology courses. This if you're doing veterinary courses, or if you want it to be a vet tech, I feel like that could also be good to do. These stayed the same. I added the chemical analyzers, an extra robotic station, microscope, and some more chess tables. I figured I just needed to fill the spaces with extra activities because then like you don't have to just be on a computer all the time studying. You can like get your skills up using these extra things. And it'd be a big help. Pepper's pub, I didn't do too much of a change to it. I think I just redid the top floor to add more stuff in because again, there's not a lot of good bar stuff in base game. All the cool bar activities all came with get together. Because like you got the table, you've got this thing, you got darts, you got the foosball table, you got the ping pong table, you got the arcade. Like I feel like we need more bar stuff to do, you know? There's a lot of things to do, and I've just got an email saying that I've got stuff arriving today from Amazon. Woo! So pretty pleased with how things have been turning out. Laurel Library, all I did was added a fireplace. Did not do too much to that. Evergreen Harbor, now this is going to look, yes, quite interesting. So the Harris family didn't do too much to them. I just made sure that we got to see Jeb's face, so he doesn't have a so he hasn't got the bag over his head. I've added in a dude named Finley Walsh, who wants to turn his neighborhood green. Sterling and Rico, kept them the same, but I gave them sort of more outfits to sort of match their sort of personality and careers. Like I made sure Bess looks like she is a boss woman kind of thing. You know, pantsuits. She gives me those vibes. I've used the EA makerspace for the quarry. Here we've got the community garden in the waterfront, and then we have the marketplace over in Conifer Station. This was just sort of because I figured this would be a good way, because I didn't want these to be like empty, so I figured I'd just make them the I figured I'd just turn them into their respective things. Didn't do much to the Greenberg family. English Simmer made them, I believe, so she did a perfect job. Sunny Malone, she's a new sort of green girl. She wants to make candles. Then over here we have Noel's. We have Ethan and his husband Guy. They've just moved to Evergreen Harbor. They've got gardening and well, Ethan is now a gardener. And Guy has just started as a medical intern, so they kind of want to build a family, and they're starting off small. And I redid the caboose because the caboose was looking sad. The caboose was looking sad, like pretty sad, because there was barely anything there, and also it was just the design of it wasn't looking great. But I've again added some stuff in, spruced it up a little. Did not change up here because I didn't need to, but it's looking so good right now. It just feels more alive when you add stuff in. I've been talking for 35 straight minutes. Wow. I should probably wrap this up, which is good because Mount Comreby was the last one, and I have barely changed this one because this was made by EA Game Changers. James, Deli, Simlessy, and Lil Simsy, they made these lots, so like I don't want to change these. Clash4 made this one. She made sure it was a CC free one, so I just added it down there because I could. Also, it just makes this one really stand out, I've noticed. But yeah, these are the worlds. I've done a lot of hard work on them. There's a lot of like I feel like I want to put more Sims in, but also I kind of don't want to because I've done a lot already. And I just have to finish off Newcrest. Add something there, add lots here, because I want this to be kind of like a school-based neighborhood. Like a library, a school, a gym, extra things, kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm going with. Maybe I could have Pop's Diner. I'll have to check that out. But this is my world. I'm very pleased with that. And I've done some good work here. I've been working very hard. So I think when I finish Newcrest up, I feel like I can put out the Ripley Save 1.0. And I'll put it up in like places for you guys. I'll make sure to link it here because this place is done, essentially. And I'm very pleased with how it looks. I hope you guys like that I've been working so hard for this, because this is going to be like another way to do a good default save. Not that the original default save was bad, but it just needed some work. Like, it just like somehow the stories just didn't fit right. But now we've got things like, we've got some Sims 2 references. We've got the Pleasants, we've got the Beakers, the Curious Family, the Smiths, the Brokes, that kind of thing. I feel like by changing it up, I've done perhaps a little bit of good, just to make a sort of good starting world. I feel like, plus I've added holidays and stuff, and everyone's aging is off for gameplay. All autonomy is full, but nobody ages currently, because I didn't want people to be aging up while I was building on this. So this is the world. I'm very pleased with how this whole thing has gone. I'm going to finish up Newcrest, and then I will be making this save available. And I'm actually thinking to start a new series with this save. I don't know what, though. Would you want me to focus on maybe a particular family? Like, say, we could do, like, focus on the Beakers, for example. Or I could do maybe some sort of series where, because of my aging up thing, I can go through different houses and sort of look into the stories of these families, kind of thing. Would that be interesting? Would you kind of want us to do some sort of, I'm not sure what kind of TV series I'm thinking of, but sort of like a sort of look into, like, the families of this save, what their stories are, like, what they do in life. Would you be interested in that? Do let me know in the comments below and tell me what you think of this save so far, because I'd like to know if you want to see anything else put in there. But all I have to do is finish Newcrest, and then it'll be available for you guys. Also, I do have to stress, you will need every single pack. If you don't have every single pack, I feel like I can make a pass if you don't want or have Journey to Batu. You're just going to lose a few build buy items. Some people might go bald or shoeless or lose an entire outfit. That's fine. That's fine. But there's a lot of like places, especially in these base worlds and stuff, that rely heavily on other packs. So it'll be good if you have those. So yeah, this is one of those worlds. Because I have every pack, I can utilize every pack. But, you know, if you don't have it, that's gonna be a thing. That's gonna be a thing. But I will say, I've made this so this save is not entirely reliant on a Journey to Batu save. You might just, at worst, you're going to lose his aspiration. That's going to be about it. Because he's the only person with a Star Wars aspiration in this save. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me talk for 40 minutes about this save. Woo! Give me some feedback on what you want me to do with the save. If you want where I should host it, I've got SimFile Share. I do have a Do I have Dropbox? I have Google Drive. So I could probably put it there. If you guys do let me know where you want me to host it. Any feedback on what you want me to add. Any sims you want me to add. And any ideas on what I should do with a new series for this save. Also, I've not put all my custom content back yet. That is going to be fun when I do that. Because it'll be interesting to see how the frame rate drops. And I did put an FPS counter on in the corner just so I can keep track of it. Because this is a brand new PC and I want to know how well my game is taking to the new PC. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye now.